Today on DNVR Buffs Live, oh my goodness, we have everything in the world to talk about. The Buffs get 2 commits. They get a signee at the deadline on Friday, CFP, and then, put them up. Let's go. Squad. Welcome into the DNVR studio, baby. What a weekend we just had. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Oh, man. How are we feeling, Scotty?
Immaculate.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Excellent. Beautiful. That's about it. That's all I got right now. How y'all feeling? What up, chat? It's a beautiful week. It's Monday. It's a new week, man. How you feeling, Jakey? How was your weekend?
It was a fantastic weekend. Fantastic weekend.
It really was.
Broncos beat the Raiders. Shedeur did Shedeur things. Notre Dame is crying. And the Buffs got commits.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, holy cow.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Couple of them boys.
Let's talk about it. Xavier and Dolph McDonald committed to Colorado. Braylon Edwards signed at the deadline on Friday. We'll talk Texas Tech winning the Big 12, CFP, Notre Dame, the fallout from all this, bowl opt-outs from at least 4 teams right now. Matt Campbell to Penn State as well. Shedeur Sanders goes crazy in his third career start.
Yes.
Holy moly. Not much time, a lot of things to talk about. As the headline says, Brennan Marion, that move is already paying off. The crystal ball move came in on Thursday, the day that it was announced that he was a target and then eventually hired. That Xavier McDonald is someone that the Buffs are already going to try and flip. Clearly with the early signing window ending on Friday. I don't know. I didn't think that there was a rush, but Xavier McDonald didn't think so either because he committed after that period.
Yeah. He
will not be able to sign until February, of course. But that's not all. His brother, Dolph McDonald, 2027, 4-star CB, also in the fold.
2 dogs.
Yeah.
All dogs to Colorado.
Yes,
I mean, this is kind of what we thought might happen when the news broke of Brennan Marion becoming Colorado's new offensive coordinator, especially after Sacramento State, his previous stop, just signed the #1 ranked recruiting class in the FCS. And more than half of those guys who were committed in that 2026 class at Sac State were unsigned as of Friday. Xavier McDonald is obviously one of those guys. And he said, I think last week to Rivals that he was going to have to take a visit up to Colorado before he made any decisions like this. But clearly something changed, you know what I'm saying? And for the best, for the better of, Buff Nation, because this is a really talented player. Now the second receiver added to this 2026 recruiting class, 6'2 1/2. A bit on the lighter frame side. He's listed about, wiry is a good way to describe it. He's listed, at least on 24/7 Sports, at around 160 pounds. But this is obviously a young guy who has the frame to continue to build out. And you just look at his offer list. It says about everything that really needs to be said. Offers from LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, about, 20 plus other offers. And with a player with an offer list like that, how do they end up at a place like Sac State?
Love the coach.
You love the coach. And that couldn't be more evident at this point. He probably would have signed at Sac State if Brennan Marion remained there. And now that Brennan Marion is elsewhere, in Boulder, Colorado to be particular, that's where Xavier McDonald wants to be. And I would be surprised if he is the last of the kind of Sac State commits to end up following Brennan Marion to Colorado. This is awesome. And obviously his little brother getting him as well in the fold is massive. That's kind of been a theme of this Colorado program since Coach Prime took over, obviously starting with, Shedeur and Shiloh, and obviously Bucky being around as well. But this recruiting staff is seemingly like targeted brothers, it seemed like, right?
Yeah.
Like I think of the Wades, right? I think of, there's obviously Hoods. A handful of the Hoods, right? The Mathises obviously were on the team as well. I'm missing a couple. The Guancos.
Westers.
Yeah, Block Bully and his little brother as well. The Westers, exactly. So that's cool in itself, but these two, they can play as well.
Yes.
A 4-star as well for Dolph in the 2027 class. He now becomes the first commit for the Buffs in the 2027 class after Lil Ward reclassified to the 2026 class. So both 4-stars. Dolph is a cornerback, kind of similar to Xavier, kind of long and wiry with some real good length to him, pause. So I really like both of these gets, man. And it wouldn't have happened without Brennan Marion. And I think this is just the first kind of sign of Brennan Marion being an elite recruiter, right? Maurice Jones-Drew, former NFL running back, called him one of the best recruiters in the nation in college football. And the Buffs are already starting to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, man. Both of these players are 4-stars on the composite rankings as well. So they absolutely have the opportunity, at least in Dolph's case, to break into that top 300. He's a 317th overall recruit right now. Xavier McDonald, currently 313th overall recruit, 47th ranked wide receiver. We have to wait till February. And, we talked about Brennan Marion and his impact as a recruiter. And obviously it started to pay off pretty early for this team. There's more coming too, though. They sent out a pretty interesting offer on the 6th, so that was Saturday. Dane Weber, quarterback from the 2027 class, a 4-star, was offered by Colorado. He tags Coach Bartoloni in his offer letter, which was interesting, obviously. And then Coach Marion's also been getting tagged in some offers as well. He's out there recruiting already.
That's what he does.
Crazy.
That's what he does. If he does nothing, he is going to, 1, scheme up a creative run game, and B, recruit his tail off.
Yep.
Those are 2 guarantees when it comes to Brennan Marion. And I saw another quarterback offer go out as well. I don't have it in front of me, but I saw another one in addition to that one. And again, when you have a guy like Brennan Marion who has had success with all different types of quarterbacks, right? The running type, the dual threat type, the more of the pocket passer type, like Julian Lewis. When you have success with all different type of quarterbacks, you kind of become, and you're a young guy, still 38 years old, who's been at all these stops and had success, you're going to be intriguing to all types of different quarterback prospects with different skill sets.
Absolutely. Again, we have about 2 months. Actually, when is signing day? Do you know off the top of your head? I know it's usually early February. National Signing Day is February 4th. So, yeah, about 2 months to, put the finishing touches on this recruiting class, which, by the way, is 75th in the country now.
Ooh.
All this noise about, we have the 100th ranked. Can we wait until the damn signing days, please?
We be trying to tell people that,
it's crazy. It's 4 years now of this. Wait till the signing days before we look at the recruiting rankings.
Well said.
They're coming in at 75 now. Obviously, again, 2 more months to work on that. And also big news in terms of Coach Marion when he updated his Twitter bio.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach at CU Buffs football. So we were kind of wondering, talking after the show on Friday, whether he'd be coaching wide receivers or quarterbacks. He was obviously open to both. But Colorado is still finishing what they're doing in terms of rebuilding, and just all the ins and outs of bringing coaches in and, making decisions in that department. So that stuff is being finalized, obviously, but this is great news. The guy who's running your offense is going to be coaching your quarterback directly, the future of your program, and Julian Lewis. And as someone who had this, David Isabel, who knew a single hire could check so many boxes. I mean, this is literally it's been a 10 out of 10 hire from every standpoint.
Yeah. I love the idea of Brennan Marion being this team's quarterback coach. Let's not forget that an entirely new offense is being installed.
Yes.
An entirely new offense is being installed this offseason. And I would say for 99% of these guys, it's an offense that they have no familiarity with, at least, playing in it. They might have, seen some videos or might be familiar about the concept of it. But I would venture to say that 99%, probably close to all of those guys, have never been in a go-go style offense. Yeah, so 100%. It's going to be a complete learning process for everybody. And you want the guy who created the go-go offense in the ear of your quarterback as much as possible, as early as possible. And I think that's why it's a good move. Obviously, he could have coached receivers and maybe you bring in, somebody else for the quarterback coach. But I think this is the right move. And this is now the 4th time that Brennan Marion, his coaching career, is going to be a quarterback's coach. His first stint was at Howard, where he was the offensive coordinator and quarterback's coach when Howard pulled off the greatest upset in college football history as 45-point underdogs against UNLV. He was also the quarterback's coach at William & Mary for a season, and obviously the quarterback's coach for 2 years at UNLV, working with Mayava before, taking over the head coaching job at Sacramento State. So this is somebody who, in addition, like we're talking about checking all the boxes, play caller, quarterback coach, recruiting, you know what I'm saying? Play designing. Like he truly, we said at the gate, like this guy checks a lot of boxes. This hire checks a lot of boxes. And I'm just excited for when this team starts to get more finalized as, the transfer portal opens up and whatnot, and Brennan Marion knows all what he has at his disposal. But it starts with the dialogue between him and Julian Lewis, right? Yep. As I said Friday, he is in the middle of all this. It all really depends on Julian Lewis. He's going to obviously need help from a variety of different people and places, but this is all about Julian Lewis's development. If he can turn into the player, the quarterback at the college level that we know he can be, everything else is going to take care of itself.
Totally. Great point, too, from what you said about, being the quarterback's coach and you're the one who made this offense. Yes. He's the one who understands it better than anyone, who understands what he's trying to achieve with that offense, why he's doing what he does with that offense.
Got to understand the why behind it.
Exactly. And so now he's going to be coaching your quarterback, which is, it's an awesome move. Also, big weekend for Brennan Marion. This Bills-Bengals game was an all-timer, crazy game. And then shout out to Cover One. They covered the Bills. They've been doing it for a while. But they found this play, Joe Brady just calling another mesh play, right? Buffalo actually motions into the go-go formation on Sunday. And
that was sick.
They end up tagging, Cover One ended up tagging Brennan Marion. Coach Marion goes, speaking about Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator at Buffalo, Joe was one of the early supporters of the offense. We ran this a lot at Howard. So it's funny because I saw some criticisms from when the hire broke of, this is kind of gimmicky. Like if this would work in that level, then if this worked in the NFL, then everyone would do it. Well, speak of the devil, it shows up in the NFL on Sunday.
And what was the result of that play?
This wasn't just a 50-yard gain.
Like a real chunk gain and beautifully.
From the back, who motions to the go-go set, too.
I don't think I've ever seen that either, though. Mesh with your two running backs out of the
Look at that. That's nasty.
Sick, bro. Yes. That is sick. And that is just a calling card of Brennan Marion's creativity, a calling card of his go-go offense. Like it's unique. It's going to have defenses like, what the hell am I looking at? What are they doing?
You're going to see guys just running butt naked, ass wide open in this offense. It's going to be crazy.
For real. You're not lying, bro. And we need it, bro. We've talked about it so much, bro. And Coach Prime, bro, shout out to him for getting this right.
Absolutely.
And it just makes me think, bro. I made a big deal about it when it happened, right? When he was harping on that first down efficiency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Coach, what's the key to that? And it felt like he thought about it. If you remember the video, he paused for a second. He goes, being creative. And like, as time has gone on, bro. He knew, bro. He knew. And shout out to him for knocking this one out the park. Obviously, we got to see it, right? We got to see it on the field and make sure it works with this personnel. But as good of a hire as you could have made as we sit here on, December 7th, 8th, whatever it is.
Totally. And just in the landscape of the sport right now, how so many teams are just scrambling. Yes. And Coach Prime, he had extra time, obviously, to go into this offseason, but he attacked this offseason with a plan and he executed it. He 100% believed in what he needed. And this is what happens when you act, coach, lead with conviction, man.
Yeah.
you attract people like Brennan Marion, and it's why this program is where it is. And, you get these Julian Lewises, the Jordan Seatons on board. It just starts all piling up at a certain point.
For sure.
Last thing before we hit our break, Braylon Edwards also did sign with the Buffs on Friday as well.
Big dog.
So that brings the Buffs up to 12 players who have signed their letter of intent. And he is the fourth secondary commitment as well, if you count
Alex.
Thank you, Alexander Ward. All right, let's take our first break, and then we will get into CFP and much more. But first, shout out to Aura Frames, one of the best gifts you could possibly get for your mom, sister, aunt. I mean, pretty much anyone, really. I mean, you can throw in your dad and brother in there too. May as well. These things are awesome. These new these frames, you've seen them before. The picture frames that change with all the photos and stuff. Aura's a little different. Unlimited photo and video storage. Just connect to Wi-Fi, download the app, and put all your family's photos on these super dope Carver matte frames. Comes with a gift box too if you want to get it all, ready for Christmas and all that. And right now, for a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. Use promo code DNVR at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code DNVR. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell it fast. Order now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show also by mentioning us at checkout with code DNVR. Terms and conditions apply.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Bet365, man. Y'all already know what time of the year it is, man. We are in the midst of sports season, the peak sports season to be exact, man. And Bet365, man, they got you covered pretty much every day of the week, man. They got their SGP Sundays. They got a Thursday night touchdown, but it's Monday night. And Bet365, you already know what the deal is, man. They have their Monday night football 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays for tonight's game against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers. So hit up our friends over at Bet365, no matter what sport you're trying to get in on the action on. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus gets me used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, before we get to CFP, actually, let's catch up on portal entries just to cover all bases. Only 4 outgoing transfers so far to this point. But Tayon Parks and Noah King have now entered the portal. I mean, both of them really in a secondary where there was opportunity. There were chances to really prove that you could play and hang, in the Big 12 and contribute right away. In Noah King's case as a young player, for whatever reason, we never even saw Noah King.
Nope.
God bless Tayon Parks, man. I mean, geez, this fan base just... I hate to see it, man. They are rough on some players, and it's just part of the spotlight of Colorado, man. Coach Prime always talks about it. The same spotlight that's going to, show you off to the world is the same one that exposes your blemishes. So,
no doubt.
Bummer, but wish them well.
All 4 outgoing transfers are on the defensive side of the ball as well, which I think is interesting. Obviously, you mentioned it. Noah didn't play for Colorado as a true freshman this year after transferring in the spring as a true freshman from K-State. Parks ended up actually playing quite a bit, kind of out of necessity down the stretch, obviously with injuries to RJ and DJ and some other guys. He ended up playing, the top 10 amount of snaps on defense for Colorado this year, but obviously he was banged up, played with the cast, particularly for the second half of the year. So, wish him the best. And obviously, as you mentioned, there are 4 defensive back commits in this 2026 recruiting class. As we know, Coach Prime and him is not afraid to play young guys as freshmen, particularly in the secondary. So I would expect at least one of those guys to make an immediate impact right away as true freshmen.
For sure. And again, I mean, Coach Prime has shown that he is willing to play those guys in the secondary at a young age too. If you're ready to go, they're going to put you out there and see if you've got it. All right, CFP. We have a new Big 12 champion. Congrats to Texas Tech. Sorry, my thing is freaking out. 34-7 win over BYU and the cover. It's the same game. It was the same exact game that happened about a month ago.
I will say that Bear was a little banged up in this one, obviously.
Yes.
Had his ankle massively taped up. He was limping around. Like he wasn't
inevitable,
himself.
though, with how he plays.
Very fair. Very fair. And I think even if he was 100%, probably would have been a very similar result. Especially, did BYU score on was that touchdown on their opening drive?
Yes. Yeah. They went up 7-0 and then got outscored 34. They were actually leading 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Wow. Texas Tech outscored them 34-0 down the stretch.
They're a wagon.
They are.
Tech's a wagon, man. That defense is and it wasn't even Jacob Rodriguez at linebacker this time. It was the other linebacker who had 2 picks. Should have had a third one, honestly. It was all over the field as well. They have dogs at their cornerback. That Bryce Pollock kid is a dog.
They have one of, if not the best defense in college football.
And Baron Morton just got to not turn the ball over and just make a play or two. Make one play at half. He has to make one play at half.
That dude stays out of the way. This team could go win a CFP.
For real. It's crazy. Shout out to that, man. And it's proof. You can change things in 1 year. Mm-hmm. You attack the portal with money and with a purpose and identifying the right type of talent. This is what's possible.
Yep. It's just the state of the sport. Really is. You can get mad, you can get angry at how they've done it and how they go about it, but you can't really blame them at this point because the sport has just become pay to win. It has been. And so they took advantage of that. They have, obviously a donor with the resources to make this happen without, even really dropping the bucket in terms of that guy's actual net worth and all that. So it's a distinct advantage. It's different, but you see it right there. It gets you a first-round bye, 4 seed in the CFP, and potentially you're playing JMU. We'll talk about JMU here in a second. Potentially playing the 12 seed JMU in the second round, but shout out Texas Tech, man. It also shows the value of defense, I think, in this conference too, right?
For sure.
You saw it last year with Colorado, how that front seven really kind of carried them. Especially when, Shedeur and Travis and the offense were hitting their tough spots. And look, Baron Morton, if you lined up all the quarterbacks in the Big 12, I don't even know if he's a top half quarterback in this conference.
Wow. He's top half, but
if I don't think maybe
he's top half, but I certainly wouldn't say I wouldn't put him number 1. I wouldn't put him number 2.
Hell no.
Probably wouldn't put him number 3 either.
He's falling down the list for me.
He's still solid, bro.
I'm taking Julian over him.
Okay.
Can you pull up the CFP again, though, Alyssa? Let's talk about the CFP. Notre Dame, after being put over Miami the entire year, after losing to them head-to-head, and also losing to another playoff team in Texas A&M, the committee finally does the right thing after monkeying around for God knows how long with this ridiculous system. But no one knows how this works at all.
Bro, Notre Dame really has, knowing the current rules, they have nothing to complain about, bro.
No.
The last 2 teams in, at large, obviously, were Miami and Texas A&M.
Yes.
You played both of those teams. Mm-hmm. You lost to both of those teams. That's it. Point blank.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, your best win is USC, who is certainly not in contention, not a top 15 even-ish team. Like, this was really cut and dry. Like, Notre Dame had their opportunities. If they just win, they beat A&M or they beat Miami, 2 games that they were certainly in, particularly the Miami game.
Yep.
There's no discussion, and you're in. So I really don't feel bad for Notre Dame at all. Like, this is kind of what did you see that? I saw they had a statement. They were like, the ACC and our is forever messed up from this. I'm like, bro, what are y'all even?
You're not even
about?
An ACC member, dog.
Right. That's why I was legitimately confused. I'm like, how are they mad at the ACC? In what way? In what shape or fashion?
It's ridiculous. And look, they've refused to kind of adapt with how the playoff is working. They've always just said, we're Notre Dame, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And whatever. They always say, we play for natties. Cool. You can do all that. Fine. And you went very far last year, for sure. To be quite frank, I do think they are one of the best teams in the country. But when it comes to what you actually have to do in terms of selecting these teams, they don't meet a lot of criteria.
No.
you got to schedule better, first and foremost.
Period. Play better teams.
Before we even talk about getting into a conference, you got to schedule better. I saw a tweet that someone said, if you take USC off the Notre Dame schedule,
oh yeah,
it is brutal.
Yes, that's why they're left out.
It's crazy though, and they always schedule these games against like Clemson and Texas A&M, these out of conference games, early in the year, and that's all fine and dandy. But when you're putting Boise State, Navy, Stanford on your schedule, and I guess like Stanford's like a legacy game and all that stuff too. It's like, but what is this? Doesn't help your resume. No. You literally have to go undefeated for you to be even close to thought of as like a lock to get in the CFP. And if you don't, that's on you.
I mean, really though, their most impressive win was at home against USC. That's it.
Yep.
Straight up. You don't get in the playoff that way. But I will say this. They probably got to change this playoff a little bit, bro.
It's broken. Everything is broken right now.
I have a lot of respect for the group of five, for FCS, for all lower levels of football. I played at a lower level of football.
Yeah.
But as we're talking about the college football playoff, if you're trying to get the 12 best teams in the playoff every single year, we got to stop this group of five champion gets an automatic. We got to stop it. I think James Madison is a good football team, and they had a hell of a season. I think Tulane's a good football team, and they won their conference championship. That doesn't mean that they're one of the two of the 12 best teams in college football this year. That's just not what it means. And I understand that, like, there's the argument out there, like, for these teams, these group of five teams that, like, well, if there is nothing to play for in terms of getting to the playoff, why even play the games? If there's a hard kind of cap or ceiling on your season. Mm-hmm. My retort to that is, it's not like you're barring that, but you got to be like a top 10 team, like in the rankings throughout the year, or at least when the CFP poll starts to come out. Like the CFP has to see you as a top 12-ish team throughout the year. It can't just be, oh, you've been hanging in the 20s throughout the entire year in terms of the rankings. You win the conference championship game over whoever, another group of five team, and now you're looked at as a top 12. No, it can't. No, we can't do that. And again, if James Madison would have been looked at as a playoff team all year, or even Tulane in this matter, then I would feel differently. But leaving out BYU or even Notre Dame, who you believe is one of the top. I heard a pundit say that Notre Dame is still a top 5 team in the country this year.
I don't necessarily disagree.
And if that's the case, they should be in the playoff by that criteria if you're trying to get the 12 best teams.
I agree, but also you have to the schedule is everything. Your schedule is everything in college football. It becomes your resume eventually.
Yeah.
You have to schedule better. And to go back to the G5 thing, first off, JMU, 40-10 the last 4 years. Since moving up to FBS.
Impressive.
And they did this while their head coach is on the way out. And I'm pretty sure he's going to stick with them. And this is just a credit to JMU and the culture that they've built. And that AD, what he's been able to... You lose Kurt Signetti, and you go 9-4 and then 12-1. Look, so not to take anything away from JMU or Tulane for that matter of fact.
Yeah.
This is... What happened this year was what we talked about last week about... You're building a car while you're going 70 miles on the highway. We're making up the rules as we go.
Exactly.
We just don't have enough data, years of proof of this system to really say what works and what doesn't work. And I kind of agree with you that, this G5, especially when you have 2 G5 in the playoff, but I do think at a certain point, you do have to kind of keep one. I think you have to keep at least one.
I would be fine with flex on him. Drew says make the 2 highest ranked G5 teams play each other for the last spot instead. Okay, cool.
Well, see, and look, this is why we need to go to a different system in terms of how conference titles are won and what we're doing in terms of what we're selecting for the CFP. Because first off, the ACC fucked this whole thing up. That's where this really started. Virginia, just go win.
For sure.
Go beat Duke.
Yeah.
Don't go to overtime against Duke, a 7-5 football team who is literally just playing just to mess everything up.
Yeah.
And they succeeded in doing that. And honestly, you know what? Kind of shout out to them because I think that it's one of those situations where it's like the system needs to be broken as much as it can for it to be fixed as much as it can be. I don't know how much the CFP can be changed, moving forward. But yeah, it's just, it makes no sense. Everyone is angry about it. And even when these G5, like I'm saying, I think one G5 team should get in, but when you're letting in two, it's just really muddying the waters in terms of what we're trying to achieve in terms of finding a true champion.
I'm with that, but like that one G5 team, like you got to earn your way in. It's not just because we're getting a G5 team gets to go in and you're the pick. Like it's got to be like a team who, like, again, all season has been looked at as a top 15-ish team. They obviously have to probably go win their conference championship as well. But like that has to be the parameters. Like, and somebody mentioned in the chat, like the JMU Oregon, that line is going to be what?
It's going to be 20-some points.
It's going to be 22, 23 points. Why are we doing this?
I mean, same with Tulane and
exactly.
Ole Miss. Didn't they play earlier this year and it was 41-10?
I think you're right, bro. And it's like, come on, bro. They have great seasons, but that should not come at the expense of a team that actually deserves to be there, an actual college football playoff team.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe JMU gives Oregon the business or pulls an upset, or maybe even it's Tulane over Ole Miss.
You just need one, though, and then it's all kind of worth it.
Maybe.
So I hear you and I get it, but when that one does happen, if we're allowed to have it happen,
yeah,
it's going to be one of the most talked about moments in the last however many years of college football.
No doubt.
It'll be an unbelievable moment, and I'm not saying these teams shouldn't deserve a chance to get in, because I do think they should. I think if you're going to keep on expanding the playoff, they should be given spots, right? But yeah, at a certain point, it's like the first round of the college football playoff doesn't really feel like the playoff started. Almost.
Exactly, and that's a shame.
Yeah,
that's a shame. If you could just pull up the bracket one more time, Melissa, I want to get you on record, bro. Who you got?
Who do I have?
Who you got winning it? I'll go first, give you a little bit more time. I think as of this moment, I would pick Georgia to win it all.
If I'm picking one team to ride with,
yep,
and say they're my champion,
yep,
I think I'm picking Tech, bro.
They have a really nice path.
That defense is crazy.
Because I think they would beat Oregon.
I think they beat the winner of that game, no matter what.
Yeah, and I think
they would give Alabama fits. I believe. I think they'd give Oklahoma fits. I know.
Well, they'd have to. Alabama or Oklahoma would have to beat Indiana,
right? Of course. And Indiana's a wagon. I do think that'd be a hell of a game. I just want to see that game.
That's what I was going to say. We need that matchup.
No disrespect to Indiana, which we should give flowers to as well, because
hell yeah.
Actually, we should take a break, and then we can kind of continue on CFP, Shedeur, all that other stuff. Shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Health. I mean, look, we don't need any more reminders, and it's already busy enough with the holidays. College football playoffs. A lot of people in their feelings right now, right? Don't let that distract you from your own personal health, maybe your friends' and family's health as well. Hit up our friends over at Common Spirit, where they're more than just a team of... You keep looking. They're more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being. They got 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites. Geez, right here in Colorado. Whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the 11, the 2, first place. No more KC in the AFC West, Denver Broncos.
Shout out to N Credit Union as well, man. Y'all already know the deal, man. They got their Broncos checking product and all the awesome perks that come along with it, man. You get game day discounts at Empower Field, man. You get a chance to win Broncos tickets and exclusive merch. And while they're piling on even more perks, man, for those interested in signing up, N Credit Union is giving folks $200. That's right, $200 dropped right into your account after meeting just a few easy requirements. And the debit cards that come with it, are you kidding me? Look at this PS2 one. Are you serious? Stop playing with them, man. You can rock a Broncos branded one. You can get a Bo Nix one as well. at all service centers on December 1st. They're kind of pretty much like collectibles, man. So with the playoff push heating up, now is the time to lock it all down, man. The perks, the card, the $200. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head on over to ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Requires a $100 deposit and activation of debit card within 30 days of account opening. Shout out to Ent Credit Union.
All right, let's get back to CFP. Shout out Indiana. Shout out Curt Cignetti for what they've been able to do. One of these stories of the millennium when it comes to college football, turning Indiana into the #1 team in the country in 2 years, beating Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, proving that they just belonged in that game. I mean, I've watched Big Ten football. Ohio State rolls so many teams in that conference, and it's not often that teams really stand up to them like that, especially in big moments. So just tip of the hat to Curt Cignetti. That's really incredible what he's done.
I think that's the greatest hire in college football history.
It's looking like it.
I think he has led the greatest turnaround / transformation in college football history. I don't think people understand how bad and how much of a doormat Indiana was for my entire life.
Yeah.
Up until Curt Cignetti took over. And for him at his opening press conference 2 years ago to say, I win, Google me. And to fast forward 2 years later and he's walking off the field after a Big Ten championship game where his team just knocked off the #1 team in the country with not even a smile on his face, with no emotion being showed. Like, that's a stone cold killer right there.
Yeah.
And man, I know Bloomington, Indiana Hoosiers fans just got to be over the moon right now because this is a guy who, again, you just locked up too. You just signed to an extension a few weeks ago. He ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
And this is just the beginning, bro, because, man, that team is built, I think, to last as well. Because I think that's a fertile ground of recruiting that I think is slept on. People don't look at Indiana or the Midwest in general as a fertile recruiting grounds for the sport of football in particular. But I'm telling you, there's some dogs up there.
Yeah.
And you look at that region, if you're not going to Ohio State, if you're not going potentially to Michigan.
Sure. Absolutely.
Indiana's the spot.
Totally.
Indiana's the spot. So shout out to him, man. And shout out to that program. I'm excited to see what they do in this playoff.
Definitely. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen in this sport. Just real quick, last thing, going back to just the G5 discussion. I mean, North Texas and Tulane both, this is the Duke, like the ramifications of the ACC and Duke not really pulling their weight, right? So I don't know. I don't want to be too heavy on these G5 teams because they just played who was in front of them.
Yeah,
and they got picked.
I get it.
So, I mean, credit to them. I mean, they're kind of helping break the system as it, and they're giving credence to why they should be in this thing too. I don't know. I'm kind of pulling for them, especially against Oregon. I mean, the 20 line or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
What's the line? 20.5?
Bet365 has it as 21 flat. Which
21 flat.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
Besides that point, I am rooting like hell for them to cause even more chaos.
It would be cool.
But yeah, just shout out to North Texas and Tulane too. That was it got close. It was never really quite an awesome game.
Shout out to Jake Retzloff.
Crazy.
Going through obviously a lot last year. That was probably very embarrassing for him. And obviously we don't know the details of what all led to that. So I don't want to be insensitive or anything, but certainly he obviously had to leave his previous program, goes to a program, helps lead them to a conference championship, a berth in the CFP. That's cool for him. Still don't think he's very good, but it's good for him.
Well, of course. Going back last CFP talks, I still believe in A&M.
Okay.
I still believe in A&M.
I like that. I think that's my favorite first round game though.
Yes. No, that's an electric game.
The A&M Miami game is going to be fire.
Electric
and I don't
game.
really know. I've liked A&M all year, certainly more than Miami, but I don't even know at this point who I would pick in that one.
I think Bama, Oklahoma will be good too, but Texas A&M, I think they can hang with Ohio State as well if they beat Miami, and they could potentially be a disruptor.
I've liked Oklahoma all year. Y'all know, how I feel about Mateer.
Yeah.
I think Bama might roll them though.
I don't know. Bama left a bad taste in my mouth after Saturday. That was a complete no-show.
They were banged up, I think. And I think that's part of the reason why they only dropped like a spot in the rankings after that. They didn't have their starting running back, who's really good. It did. They dropped the spot. They dropped the spot.
Sure.
But I think it was, I'll say this. I think for the most part, the committee got this right. I think they got the right teams in, aside from my gripe with, having to have two G5s.
They saved their ass at the finish line.
I think they got the right teams in. So we'll see though.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Talked about Notre Dame. Matt Campbell to Penn State. Iowa State now needs a head coach as well. They go down to their 27th option on the list. Somehow that's where Matt Campbell is. Somehow they apparently it was a higher target, but they didn't have his phone number. A lot of talks about phone numbers during these coaching searches. Weird.
That is odd.
In the age of technology, we're still asking to help find phone numbers. But anyways, Iowa State's going to need a new head coach. They actually already have a new head coach. Do you remember Buddy's name off the top of your head?
Nope.
He is Wazoo head coach, or former Wazoo head coach, Jimmy Rogers. He is going to be manning the ship over at Iowa State from now on. So now you have him. You have Colin Klein. Is that it, really, I think?
In the conference?
Yeah, for new coaches, right?
And Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, correct.
Eric Morris. I think that's it, though. How about these teams, bro, opting out of the bowl games?
Yeah, talk about it.
It's crazy, bro. What was the one I saw? It was who just did it when they really didn't even have no reason to?
Baylor.
Yeah, I guess there's a handful. If you could pull up that list of all the teams that have, Baylor's done it. Iowa State's done it.
So this is a Facebook post. I don't know how legit this is, but
I think that's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
So Notre Dame, K-State, Kansas, Iowa State, Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple.
If you don't have, I understand the teams, you fired your head coach or your coach left.
Yes.
I get that to a certain extent. But these teams that, like Baylor, if you have a chance to play, why are you not playing in the bowl game, bro? Kansas, why are you not playing in the bowl? I don't understand that. Like, what? I really don't like it.
Me either. But again, the system's broken. And I'm not going to fault these teams for... let's talk about this in Colorado's lens. Obviously, they were not going to get invited to a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
If Colorado did have 5 wins at this point in the year, though, and they weren't already, in talks to get a bowl game, and they got a call from whatever bowl this is that asked all these teams, they can't play. Colorado can't play. You just hired an offensive coordinator. You don't have an offense to run.
I get that. And that's what I'm saying. It's in certain circumstances, I understand it. But not all of these teams have those extenuating circumstances.
That's fair. But I can't fault these teams from when the last week of November, and that's the last game on your schedule, and then you look at the calendar, and all of a sudden you have signing day the very next weekend, or the very next week, not even the next weekend, 4 days after the last game. Coaches are moving around. You're trying to sign a recruiting class. You're trying to re-recruit your damn roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many teams out there who can't play. They can't field teams. They don't have coaches. They don't have systems to call plays on at this point in time. And it's because the calendar's a giant jumbled mess where we put all of this stuff at the same time. And now bowl season is the thing that's really suffering from this all because... teams just aren't going to wait around to play bowl games anymore, meaningless bowl games anymore, when you got to get a head start on 2026.
And the Big 12 not playing around. They fined Iowa State and K-State for opting out of their bowl game. $500K apiece. $500,000 for opting out. I don't understand I just don't understand that. And again, there are circumstances, and obviously Iowa State's case, their coach left them.
Yes.
In K-State's case, you have a new coach. Your coach is leaving. But it's not all of these teams. And especially if the Big 12 is fining them, clearly they don't think that it's enough of a reason for them not to play in these games. Fine them $500,000.
Notre Dame has no excuse for this, by the way. I mean, out of all the teams that we just mentioned, and not to just continually, get on their case, but Notre Dame has no excuse for this at all.
Yes, bro. They're just trying to take a stance, bro, and just trying to be uppity for no reason.
Yeah, look, we were hard on Florida State a couple years ago for basically quitting going into that bowl game.
At least they showed
Notre
up.
Dame needs to exactly. Notre Dame deserves 10 times worse, whatever that was.
For sure.
I mean, you're just taking your ball and going home, kind of.
It's so lame.
So
lame.
All right. Let's take our final break, and then we will finally talk about Shedeur Sanders. Shout out to our friends over at Coors Light. Man, it is playoff time in college football. Playoff time is quickly approaching in the NFL. Come hang out at the DNVR bar, man. We had a bunch of Broncos fans here yesterday. It was electric. It's only going to get even better as the season rolls along, and we're going to be crushing Coors Lights the entire way to the playoffs. Big game this weekend. That could be a chilly one. Green Bay coming to town. Make sure you're staying chill, whether you're at the game or not, with Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door when you go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR so you can make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
And shout out to our great friends over at Taco Bell.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Y'all know the deal, man. Taco Bell is the absolute master of menu innovation. I know you know this better than most, Jakey. And they have done it again, man. For a limited Taco Bell time, they're serving up a steak and roasted poblano rolled quesadilla. I saw a commercial like on my television yesterday.
Yes, me too. I know.
I'm
sleeping.
For real. This is a twist on the classic form, man. Premium ingredients, and it's going to elevate your Taco Bell experience, man. And as the college football season unfortunately winds down, you just got 1 week left to pick up a Buffs box, man. The best value in food in the beautiful state of Colorado. So grab this $7 box filled with 4 Taco Bell classics and a player collectible cup. Live Moss at Taco Bell, and shout out to the squad at TB. Yeah.
All right. Shedeur Sanders. How cathartic was that?
Whoa.
I mean,
What a word.
for real though. Everything that happened, man. The draft, the fallout from the draft, training camp, not getting reps, having to work your way from QB4 on the roster. All this sounds so ridiculous now
Yep.
after what we just saw yesterday.
Yep. It's time, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
It's time. In the news broke today from Kevin Stefanski that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback for the remainder of the season.
What a move. Great job, Kevin.
And I'm sure he had to do that probably begrudgingly, maybe a little bit, but this is where we are. You throw for 350 plus yards. You have 390 plus total yards of offense. You have 4 total touchdowns in one game. You're the guy.
Yes.
Not to mention you're doing it in your 3rd career start. Not to mention you're doing it after maybe 2 weeks of reps with the first team offense behind one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL from a pass protection perspective, surrounded by one of the worst skill position groups in the NFL from a talent perspective. And Shedeur, it's awesome to me, man, because I tweeted earlier, like, he earned this the hard way.
Yes.
He earned this the hard way. And for him to earn it the hard way without sacrificing any of himself, right? He is still himself. We saw the video of him, throwing it up, throwing a touchdown, getting in Jeffrey Simmons' face, throwing it up.
Yeah.
He's still himself.
Hell
but then he
yeah.
gets to the podium after the game, and he's trying to be baited by reporters about why he's not on the field for the 4th down attempt, which was, this 2-point conversion attempt after what could have been the game-tying touchdown. He was being baited. Shedeur, what do you think of you not being on the field on perhaps the game's most important play after you just...
What do you think he thinks?
After you just led your team down the touchdown after going 6 for 7 on that potential game-tying drive, including the game-tying touchdown, which should have been the game-tying touchdown. What do you think he thinks? And of course, everybody wants to know, but he handled it the right way. Say, of course I want to be on the field, but that's not football. Sometimes you got to run. Sometimes you got to kick a field goal. I'm never going to question the call. And that's what a lot of people thought that Shedeur was incapable of.
Yes.
I saw a lot of comments like, oh, that boy got PR training. No, he's always had the PR training. This is how he's always been.
Yes.
Y'all are just now awake. But that performance, man, the first time a Browns quarterback has thrown for 300 yards in a game since you and I saw a Browns quarterback throw for 300 yards in a game in person.
No way that game.
Jameis Winston against the Broncos over a year ago.
God.
That was the last time a Browns quarterback before Shedeur did yesterday throw for 300+ yards in a game. I love that moment. Sure, you would have loved that to end in a Browns win, but maybe if you keep Shedeur on the field for a 2-point conversion attempt, maybe it would have ended in a Browns win. He did make the one mistake, which cost them some momentum.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
But that's Shedeur, bro. He's going to make one of those play a game where you're like, but he's going to make 14 that make like, this dude is that guy.
Yes,
and that's what yesterday was.
You nailed it. I mean, so authentically Shedeur. How he played too.
Yeah.
That touchdown he ran in, throwing two guys off of him, just making plays happen in the backfield. The accuracy, the touch. Just precision. I mean, deadly precision.
That Njoku touchdown couldn't have been thrown better.
Yeah, the last one, right?
That was the first one. The first one in the corner to Njoku.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, yes. That one. I mean, the ball to Jerry Jeudy on the long touchdown.
I mean,
threaded a needle. It's crazy. And we were in this room, 8 months ago?
Yes.
On that dreaded day of the day 3 of the draft, talking about this. Completely shell-shocked, having to do a show, just like trying to process everything. And all the emotions that went into that, all the things that have been said, I don't know how Coach Prime, the Sanders family, the CU family, everyone to do with Shedeur the last 4 or 5 years, how you don't feel extremely vindicated, because our eyes did not lie to us from what we saw in college football.
No, sir.
And a lot of people tried to tell us that what we saw was not real, not replicable, was daddy ball purely, all this stuff. And Shedeur just went out and totally proved that he was the best rookie quarterback in this class, outdueled the number 1 overall pick. All due respect to Cam Moore, not trying to shit on him. He's got a way worse situation at Tennessee, by the way. It's just... This guy's he's so much more resilient than I think I could ever hope to be, honestly. And it's really admirable to see how he just carries himself and continues to be himself.
Well said, bro. Has done it all with a smile on his face, has kept it light throughout the media. Can't nobody once saw a shot of him on the sideline or throughout the week talking to the media where he's like, oh, he looks pissed. Yeah. He looks like the moment's getting to him. No, not once, when he had multiple times to be like, you know what? I'm getting done dirty right now. And a lot of us would have thrown our hands up and be like, you know what? This clearly just ain't for me.
I would have lost my mind, bro.
But Shedeur is one of one for many reasons. And that's one of them, man. You mentioned it, right? Outplaying. That was the best performance by a rookie quarterback this season.
Yes.
Period. And for it to come, like I said, in his only 3rd career start, people are going to naturally do the, it's the Titans, Well, we'll see. He's got a big test this weekend, Shedeur does, facing a really good football team.
Who they got?
Chicago Bears.
Oh, shit. How are you going to handle that?
So, I'm going to be locked in this weekend. You know what I'm saying? I hope he performs similarly to how he did last week. I hope I'm not gonna say no. I hope he performs similarly to how
you're gonna get all the way there.
I hope he performs similarly to how he did this yesterday. 300+ yards, 3-4 maybe touchdowns, and he's gonna have the opportunity to do that because the Bears defense. Now I will say the Bears defense does lead the league in takeaways. They picked off Jordan Love again. That's what they do. Yeah. But in terms of moving the ball down the field, Shedeur's gonna have opportunities to do that on Sunday in Chicago against the Bears. That's gonna be rocking. And I'll tell you what. I know for a fact it's going to be a lot of Shedeur Sanders jerseys in that crowd at Soldier Field. He's got a lot of love in Chicago, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, that was just, it was so satisfying to see. Obviously, it was a big day on Twitter for a lot of us. Some of us are still carrying over that the victory lap on Twitter today. But,
and somebody mentioned, we talked about Indiana earlier.
Yeah.
And obviously, Fernando Mendoza seems to be the number 1 quarterback in this 2026 draft. He probably might have had his maybe Heisman moment on Saturday night, or maybe his moment to clinch himself as the number 1 quarterback in this 2026 class. What a day for Shedeur to go out there the next day and prove that, if y'all were thinking about getting a quarterback, y'all might want to rethink that because y'all already drafted me. I'm already here. So I thought that was just good timing as well, because I don't know if the Mendoza hype for the Browns was higher than at that moment on Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, perfect timing, some would say, right? It's wild to me that the Browns just had this sitting, throwing on a separate football field with, a camp body tight end for most of training camp. This franchise is so unserious about winning. And this entire process is probably the worst, besides 1-32 or whatever the fuck that record was. This is the worst inflection of that.
Yeah.
They are not serious about this at all. Save Shedeur. Get him out of there. I know it's probably not possible, but Jesus, man. Like, they got to fire Stefanski at least, especially after that 2-point conversion play.
It seems that way.
I mean, it's never been more clear that Shedeur Sanders was an Andrew Berry draft pick, and Kevin Stefanski really wanted nothing to do with him. You just can't go on forward as an organization when this is clearly your best quarterback.
Exactly.
So this is going to be a very interesting offseason for the Cleveland Browns.
It really is.
You're kind of put on the spot here. What are you going to do? I mean, you've kind of messed it up almost every... Baker Mayfield, you completely messed it up. Are you going to do it again?
Well, I will say this, because when the Browns probably inevitably fire Kevin Stefanski, I am not looking forward to the inevitable. Well, obviously, Coach Prime is going to be...
Well, of course.
I'm not looking forward to that. But it seems that that's the route they got to go, because you make a good point. Like, it's become obvious that Shedeur was Andrew Berry's decision.
It's so clear, yeah.
And yeah, you can't really go along if this was such a big kind of contentious point between Stefanski and Berry. Like, Stefanski had his guy. It was Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work. Berry had his guy. It was Shedeur. It's looking like it's working. I don't know. But who's all out there? I don't know.
I mean, that's a great question. I don't think there's obviously not, I think, a Ben Johnson type candidate or
right, exactly.
Mike Vrabel, out there.
So that's where my mind goes after that. We're like, yeah, I would, I'd be fine to move on from Stefanski, but who are you going to get? And that's the worst thing you can do, I think, too. In year 2 is pair him with a lame duck coach, potentially. Again, this is the Browns making this decision about a new head coach. So
what about McCarthy? That's an established... Hold on, though. Hear me out. You brought up, obviously the incoming mess when they fire Stefanski, and it's Coach Prime headed to Cleveland, all this stuff, blah, blah. McCarthy's like an established head coach, though.
He is.
I feel like in terms of someone who's been there, done that, and has experience dealing with locker rooms and, big egos, and he was Aaron Rodgers' head coach, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think he's the type of guy who can come in and really own that situation and ease any concern of, whatever Stefanski's worried about Coach Prime wise. You know what I mean? Like, I think McCarthy would have the wherewithal to be like, yeah, he's the best quarterback. We got to start the best guy, and we got to put the best team out there every week. Because it is kind of a delicate situation now that you put it. I didn't even thought about that yet.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason I reacted that way to Mike McCarthy is just like, we've seen him. Mike McCarthy is his full name. It's like we've seen him in multiple stops now. Like, Dallas probably should have been his last stop. You know what I'm saying? As a head coach. And again, he can coach, right? He has a resume, no doubt. But ideally, you would want a younger head coach. And again, that might be impossible to ask with
go get Joe Brady.
Wow. See, that's a name. That's a name.
Go get him.
That's a name. That's a name. Ideally, you want a younger guy who Shedeur can more so relate to. And I think that's going to be a sticking point, because clearly him and Kevin Stefanski,
clearly,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yes.
If you decide and realize that Shedeur is your guy, the coaching decision has to be made with him in mind. And I think ideally it's a younger guy, an offensive-minded guy, no doubt, who both of them can kind of grow with each other. Or maybe Berry doesn't make that decision with Shedeur in mind, and Shedeur is able to, potentially have someone else bid for his services. I don't know. I just don't think that's realistic. At this point now, like, he's balling now. Cleveland not going to trade him now.
I agree.
If they were going to trade him, they would have traded him. You know what I'm saying?
Playing devil's advocate here, though, I agree. But if you're Andrew Berry and say you're not going to make the playoffs, clearly.
Yeah.
And we're a month and a half down the road from now. It's conference title weekend. and let's say there's 4 other head coach openings, and now all of a sudden it's down to you and someone else to fill a vacancy, and it's clear that you're not getting a head coach because they're intimidated or not wanting to coach Shedeur, you're going to have to make a decision.
Wait, you're saying
potentially trade him? You're
saying the coach that you want to hire?
No, I'm saying if you can't hire a coach because of Shedeur, you're going to have to trade him.
I can't imagine that being a thing though either though.
I mean, I would hope not, but we've seen crazier shit the last 8 months.
Again, especially assuming like every week isn't going to look like how yesterday looked with Shedeur, obviously throwing 350 plus yards. Every week isn't going to look like that, but assuming he just continues to look like a starting quarterback in the NFL throughout the rest of the year, I think there are going to be plenty of head coaching candidates who would be like, hell yeah, I would love to coach him. So I
hope so.
I think the only way that coaches would be like, I don't know about that, is if they think he's not good.
Fair enough.
And again, after what we saw yesterday, that's clearly not true. And if he continues to, again, look like a starting quarterback, I think there's going to be a line of guys wanting to coach him and grow him. Indy
needs a quarterback so bad.
It's true. And they don't have no money tied up in nobody either.
Exactly. And that's the other thing with Cleveland too. Deshaun Watson's like being activated for his window, and like clearly he's not going anywhere. They're tied to him for like $80 million next year.
Yeah, they need him on the team as a backup.
We'll put this discussion down for now, and we'll get back to it. Obviously, later in the week, we'll get RK back tomorrow, and we'll get his thoughts on everything. Mike Trout, don't tell JMU that they are either underdogs. We've been the best Virginia school for years, baby. Go Dukes. Hell yeah, let's go.
Can't argue that.
I'll definitely be rooting for the Dukes against Oregon. And then Jermaine says, shoulder to shoulder, get dangerous, or Shedeur Sanders to get dangerous. Yeah, either way, both of them.
Appreciate you, Jermaine.
Yeah. Alrighty, chat. We are out of here. That is it for today. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Leave a thumbs up. Also, if you have enjoyed the show, tell someone about it. Podcasts, the fastest way they spread, word of mouth. Let them know. We'll be back tomorrow. Lots more to get to this week. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.